Take you on a virtual tour of the Robert Brown Theater and the Brown Center building. So here behind me, you will see the Brown Center. It started construction in 1994, and the first semester in the building with classes was in the fall of 1995. That was the very first year we did any kind of shows in the Brown Center Theater. This right here is the Patrick J. McAtee Plaza. Some beautiful fine arts statues. The Brown Center serves as the home here on the Arc City campus as our fine arts building. And it houses theater, vocal music, some instrumental music, and there's a dance/rehearsal hall, which I'll show you in a minute. Now as we go into the front doors, we come into the main lobby of the theater. And as you will see, the Robert Brown Theater sign, and then there's a hallway that wraps around and it has pictures of all of our main stage shows on it. We'll show you that in a little bit. So walking through, we're going to go to the front doors of the theater. The women's restroom is on this side, right there in that hall. The men's is all the way around on the other side. So, need my keys to unlock. I actually recorded this video twice today, and the first time I recorded it, it was like 10 minutes, or 15, which was too long for YouTube to upload. So, as we come into the main doors of the theater, you will see the proscenium arch. This is an 800-seat proscenium theater. There's about 500 seats downstairs, and if you look up, there's about 300 seats up there in the front edge of the balcony. Back here on house right, that is our sound console. The first set of windows is where our light booth is, and then the second set of windows is the cry room. Now as we turn and walk toward the stage, you can see some of the electrics that are hanging there. That's where we hang all of our theatrical lighting instruments. And we'll walk up on the stage and take a peek out. And that is the theater. We are standing now directly downstage center. Back in the old days, it was easier to rake the stage for audience view rather than raking the audience. So when actors had to go downstage, when they were told to go downstage, they literally went downstage. When they went upstage, they literally went upstage. If a director was in the audience and told me to go stage right, it is always from the actor's perspective, so I would go stage right, and then finally the other side over there would be stage left. Then this is the right wing of the theater, and then this is the left wing. Over here you're going to see all these ropes. This is a single purchase counterweight system. And as you will see here in a minute, I'll flip you up and you can look at the fly space up there. And that is where we tie a lot of our scenery on, fly our scenery, hang our lighting instruments. And so if we were going to hang about 100 pounds worth of scenery, we would have to put 100 pounds on the arbors right here to balance that out. This is known as the fly rail, and typically during our big musical we'll have 5 or 6 people stationed at this fly rail operating a multitude of line sets that bring scenery in and out. Now this is kind of our stage manager's console. This is where they operate all the lights for the stage and the house, all the basic lights. The theatrical lighting I'll show you is operated from the light booth. As we walk backstage, we will go to, I'll just show you the women's dressing room. The men's is very similar, but this is the women's dressing room. This place is full of actors and costumes. Everybody has a little spot taped on the counter just for them, and it's a hub of activity before and after a show. Each dressing room also has a full bathroom, full sink, toilet, and behind the door is a shower. The coolest thing backstage, one of the necessities is to be able to communicate with everyone backstage. So this is the stage manager's console. It hooks up to our headset system so that a stage manager in the light booth can call backstage and say, Scott, you're needed for a mic check, and I would say, thank you very much, I'll be on stage in 2 minutes. Thank you, have a great day. This right here is a speaker on the ceiling that monitors all of the sound and the activity on the stage. So even though you're backstage, maybe getting ready, you'll be able to hear exactly where we're at in a show. Walking back this way, that's our call board. A lot of the actors, there'll be notices and announcements posted on this call board. This here is the green room. This is the backstage. Every theater that I know of has some kind of a green room. Why they call it green, I'm not really sure why it started being called a green room, but it's known as the green room. Here's where students will hang out. They'll play cards while the show is going on, as long as they don't miss a cue. A lot of our students will come in here and do homework. And then up here we not only do our 2 main stage shows every year, but we also have touring shows that come in that we started hanging these posters from all the different shows. One of the coolest ones we've ever done was this national tour of Cats came through 2 years ago in January of 2011. Our students got to work with their professional cast and crew backstage, setting it up, running the show, and then tearing it down. Also called the Loadout. The one we did this year was Stomp, and that was a very cool show as well. And we also have headset communication here and the ceiling speaker monitor there. So let's head back out on stage. The apron of the stage is located down front, and it has a hydraulic lift that will raise and lower, and it actually goes down to a room that can house about 30 musicians. So we can have a full orchestra down there in the pit. We usually put like a black spandex cover over the top of it to reduce some of the light coming out of the pit. Now we're going to walk backstage to the scene shop. This is one of my favorite rooms in the entire building. This is kind of where I got my start in theater, is because I love to build things, create things, and paint things. So this here is our scene shop. We use a lot of wood. Recently we've used a lot of steel. It's structurally very strong. Here is the tool cage, where you can see a variety of tools and equipment needed for building the shows. There's some chandeliers up there that we've used in our shows. Walking back through here, the production office, where our technical director and designer, this is his main office right here. His name's Jameson Rhodes. He's a very good designer and technical director, and he's responsible for running the shop, running all the technical aspects of the theater. Up on the wall, you're going to see hand-painted signs of a lot of our main stage shows. We actually take these signs, put them in a lighted sign, and they set out in the lobby for each one of our shows. Okay, here's the big stage door. This is where we get a lot of our big scenery in and out from the shop, and you can see the theater out there. There's also a big rolling door right here, and this is where touring companies will back their semi-trucks up to the dock, unload their equipment, and come into the theater this way. This happens to be our props hallway. A prop is anything an actor can conceivably carry on and off stage. So that's where all our props are stored. And now we're going to go into the costume shop. The costume shop, we have a serger, we have a sewing machine, and then a lot of stock shoes, a lot of stock costumes. We have made some of our own costumes in the past, depending on whether students can sew or not, but we also pull a lot, and we get a lot of donations, a lot of Goodwill stuff. But up there in those containers are all hats, and we do have a washer and dryer as well. Moving on, I'll show you the costume storage. This is where we store a lot of our costumes. You can see these are all women's shirts and blouses and coats. They're all color-coded, and if you look, I don't know if you can see that, but if you look way up there, it actually goes way up top. I'll try to take you on the other side here and show you a better shot. Again, some full-length dresses. You go up